Hello and welcome to our next series of tutorials. My name is Amy Snow. I am the Assistive Technology Instructional Specialist for the state of Wisconsin. That means that I do outreach and cover the needs of our state as far as assistive technology goes. One of the things that I do is I do technology training, and this is going to be my second series of instructional videos, this time focusing on the Braille Trail Reader Limited Edition, from APH. Just a little bit of background on this that I thought I would provide. This unit is actually a rebranding of the HumanWare Brilliant BI 14. For those of you who are not familiar with that, it is a 14-cell Braille display, and it offers some onboard, very minimal applications, such as like a word processor, but it doesn't offer any formatting or any spell check. It has onboard timers, things like that, and we'll go over that eventually. But what I want to do today is kind of talk about the history of where this came from. So the only real difference, there's a couple, but the only one you'll see is that the case of the Braille Trail Reader is red. And the reason for that is because APH wanted to pair this item with the Braille Bug website, which is a website that is focused on Braille and educating others about it. And it contains a lot of lesson plans on including students in learning Braille along maybe with a student that's mainstreamed into their classroom. It's actually quite clever, and I think it's very adorable. And if you have some time, you might want to visit that site. It's really quite cute. It was taken over by APH from AFB sometime back when the two sort of came to an agreement about what they were going to each provide, and APH kind of took on some of the roles and responsibilities that AFB had been working on. Now that we've talked a little bit about the history, let's talk a little bit about what goes, will come in the box when you get your Braille Trail Reader. The first thing, of course, is the unit, which is, as we said, red and has 14 cells. It comes out of the case and is attached by these little Velcro strips on the back of the unit, and you would line them up with the Velcro strips that are inside of the case. And of course line it up so that the buttons and the ports are available through the appropriate holes. Another thing you get is this strap. It says HumanWare on it. It's a nylon strap so your device can be hung around your neck. The strap actually does not attach to the case. It connects to the unit through some like sort of what do they call these? Like some holes, and you drill, or they're drilled, but you thread the loop through there and secure it. You'll know what I mean when you see it if you don't understand what I'm saying now. But anyway, it also comes, of course, with this case, which is, I wouldn't throw the unit down a set of stairs, but it's relatively secure. It's pretty good as far as durability. The unit also comes with a micro USB cable and a brick or a plug for the wall, so that you can plug the unit in and charge it. The USB cable is used for charging, and it's also used for connecting your unit to a PC in case you would like to transfer some files or use it as a Braille display with your screen reader. So that's kind of what comes in the package. It also comes with a Braille and a print, like quick start guide, to kind of maybe give you a little direction. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is orientation to the unit and what all the buttons mean. So what we'll do is we'll start with the unit facing me as though I were using it to do Braille entry. And we're going to start at the very front. The front of the unit has, and I'm going to tip it so you can see it, for those of you who can see, has thumb keys. The thumb keys are organized, there's 4 of them, in a line. There are 2 thumb keys that are on the outermost edges of the unit, and there are 2 thumb keys that are on the innermost. So what we're going to do is go from the left to right. Left is what we are going to call the previous thumb key. It's also the left outer thumb key. This is used to navigate to the previous item in a navigable environment like menus and such. The next key, the second key from the left, this is the Braille panning key. It pans the Braille display, to the left by 14 cells each time. And the key next to that, of course, is your right panning key. That will obviously, if this one on the left takes you back 14 cells, this will take you forward. The last key that I'm going to show you on the front is the right outermost thumb key, or the next thumb key. This will take you forward in any navigable environment like menus or things like that. So those are the thumb keys. I'm going to put the unit down again, and let's talk about the left side of the unit. And I'm just going to take it out of its case for just a second here, and I'm going to show you the side of this unit. So as you feel the unit, you'll notice in the very middle is a micro USB slot. This is where you'd plug in your charger, and it's also where you would plug the cord in to connect it to your computer or to transfer those files like we talked about. The other thing is a little further back. It's a slightly raised button, and it has a small sort of a raised dot on it to kind of even give you a little bit more of a tactile clue. This is the power button. When held for about 2 to 3 seconds, it turns the unit on or off. When held for 15 seconds, it functions as a reset button, so you're not going to see another reset button on this unit the way we have previously seen. So those are the 2 buttons on the left, and I'm going to flip it back to show you the back of the unit. There is only one item of interest on the back of the unit, and this is the terminal switch. When pressed to the left, which it is now, it will allow the unit to access, its onboard features, like its onboard note-taking, its onboard stopwatch, things like that, applications that are built in. When it is switched to the other side, to the right, and I'll do that real quick. There you go, just a small click, and it's just a sliding switch. This allows it to be in pairing mode, where you can pair it with your PC or your phone or other mobile device. So I'm going to put it back to where it was, and I'm going to put this down. Okay, now let's talk about the unit itself. Okay, so the top portion of the unit is obviously going to have the very most buttons on it. We have, as we're working in front of us and away towards the back of the unit, the first thing we see is a space bar. The function of the space bar is kind of obvious. It's used to space, but it can also, within menus, like toggle some changes, and we'll talk about that later. This next thing is your 14-cell Braille display. Again, pretty self-explanatory. What really is a little bit harder to get used to is above the Braille display, and you'll notice that there are no cursor routing keys like we're used to. What they are is sensors. They're cursor routing sensors. So they can tell if your finger is resting above it, and will give you a little haptic feedback and move the cursor based on where your finger is. I will talk to you about those a little bit later, but I just want to let you know that that's what those are, and we will kind of go over that. The next thing, obviously, is your 6-key entry for your Perkins style keyboard. On the Of course, you have your 7 key and your 8 key, and your 7 key is to the left of your .3 and functions as a backspace like in most other units. And the enter key is the .8 and it is located to the right of the .6 as usual. The only other thing that I'm going to show you here is this joystick. The joystick functions sort of like your previous Next. If you enjoyed that on the Refresher Braille 18 like I did, it's nice that they brought it back for this unit. I think it's very intuitive, especially for younger kids. And not only does it go, you know, left, right, up and down, if you press it in, it acts as a select. So you can go up, down, left, and right, and press it down for select. That's pretty much the orientation to the unit, and that also covers our first video in this series. So I hope you will join us for more videos in the series, and we'll talk a little bit more about the capabilities of this unit. Please remember it is available on quota funds, and if you need to contact me, my information is on the screen, but you can also look me up at the Wisconsin Center for the Blind and Visually Impaired in our staff directory. My name is Amy Snow, and please feel free to reach out with questions or comments or concerns, or just leave them in the comment section of the video. Thanks.